Now, the specter of alleged sexual abuse by coaches and those supervising young athletes. Larry Nassar's decades of abuse will see him likely die in prison. Later this afternoon, interim president of Michigan State University, former Governor John Engler, will be questioned by a U.S. Senate committee. And at Ohio State University, which is already dealing with allegations of years of athlete abuse by a now deceased physician, there is a class action lawsuit filed by a young woman, a diver, a suit against Ohio State's diving club, which is a recreational diving program. The suit also names USA Diving and a former coach, Will Bohoney. Estee Pryor alleges that when she was a minor, she was sexually assaulted by Bohoney for the better part of a year, and that the university and USA Diving did little of anything to address her concerns. Estee joins me now, along with her attorney, Robert Allard. Thank you both very much for being here. Estee, in your words, and as you have alleged in your suit, how did Will Bohoney, by your account, leverage his position with you as an aspiring, up-and-coming, and a stellar diver to gain sexual favors?
Well, he used, obviously, his position of power. He used his influence within the community, his personality, and he definitely took advantage of my position that I was in, that he just used that to his favors, and he used my weaknesses against me.
You met him at what age, and at what age was there intimacy?
I met him when I was 14 in 2012 when he first became a coach, an assistant coach within our club, and the intimacy began when I was 16. The summer of when I almost turned 17.
At that point in your life, how important was succeeding in diving and advancing up the standings and possibly towards a higher level? How important was diving to you in your life?
It was very important. It previously, before this point in my life, it was something that took me traveling, and it created my identity, and it developed me into a person as well. And especially when I was 16, turning 17, and committing to colleges, which a collegiate position as an athlete takes you even further to the Olympic level. Your college coach actually trains you for the Olympics, along with your club coaches. It is a dynamic relationship between the club coaches and the university coaches to develop you into an even stronger diver. So that was the most pivotal point of my career to get me ready for an Olympic Games.
We invited USA Diving to be part of this program today. They did not respond. We invited Will Bohoney to comment or be part of it. He did not respond, but Ohio State has. And they do take issue with some items in your class action lawsuit. They say that indeed they did inform law enforcement when they learned about the allegations made against Bohoney, that they did inform Child Protective Services, and that they did fire him, that they did notify USA Diving. What's your reaction? Either Estee or Robert would care to comment about that, that Ohio State says, no, we did act and act promptly here.
Well, Ohio State's responsible for hiring him in the first instance, and looking at his criminal background, there is no way this guy passes any valid criminal background check whatsoever. He had a history involving criminal mischief, public intoxication, DUIs. So they put him in access with her in the first instance. They did terminate him, but they did so very quietly. They did not notify the community at large about what he was doing to her. They had evidence in the form of video. He was brazen enough to videotape them having sex. And all of these videos and audios and photographs, naked images of Estee were given to them, and he was not arrested. They did not involve the real police. The real police would have been someone outside of Ohio State, someone who had the interests of the community and not Ohio State at heart.
At one point, you did, though, Estee, did you not request the initial police investigation to cease?
I did not. I actually tried to go off to college a couple times. It was still open. It's been open. They actually placed me in the position to do something about this. And I was not in a position where I was ready to do that. But with all the legal facts that were stacked up against each other, that's not my job.
The school investigation of this, and they produced a report, raises questions, at least according to some of the witnesses with whom they spoke, about your credibility, that at times your story or your accounts had varied or changed. What's your reaction to that?
My reaction is when I had backlash from the community and when I had backlash with rumors and when Mr. Bohoney had the first chance to give a statement from a teammate's parent who addressed him, I didn't have a chance to give my word. So people already had their own formulated ideas at the biggest national meet. There were rumors already going around. And when a woman from our recreational sports who was a director, who was an adult, who was somebody that I've known for a couple of years, told me I had to leave the meet once I actually said that this was true, that these allegations were true, she asked me to leave the meet. So I did recant my story a couple times, and I was not credible, but there's a lot of backstory to this, and the reasons why are how people reacted to this and treated me poorly and still gave him connections and rewards.
And besides, when you have video of an adult coach having sex with a minor athlete, what more do you need?
That's a question that sometimes answers itself. USA Diving, your information is that Bohoney, you allege, has been coaching as recently as this past winter, even though he was banned several years ago by USA Diving?
Yes, USA Diving was aware expressly in August of 2014, not only with regard to Estee, with the same video and the same audio, photographic evidence, but they had testimony from another victim from Indiana University who was also molested by this coach. It took them several months after that to finally ban him, and during that entire time, he was allowed to sexually abuse Estee even further. And the banning, by the way, was very quiet. No one was told about it, and he was allowed to coach even after that point in time. So really, USA Diving did nothing.
All right, we have to leave it there. Wish we had more time. Estee Pryor, we wish you the best of luck. Robert Allard, thank you, sir, for being with us. We appreciate your time today.